Lazarussuchus. Lazarussuchus, meaning Lazarus's crocodile, is an extinct genus of amphibious reptile, known from the Cenozoic of Europe. It is the youngest known member of Choristodera, an extinct order of aquatic reptiles that first appeared in the Middle Jurassic. Fossils have been found in Late Paleocene, Late Oligocene, Early Miocene, and Late Miocene deposits till the 56–11.6 million years ago in France, Germany, and the Czech Republic. Two species have been named, the type species L. inexpectatus unexpected Hecht, 1992, from the Late Oligocene of France, and L. dvoraki from the Early Miocene of the Czech Republic. It was not a large animal. The skull of L. inexpectatus was only about 4.53 centimeters, long 1.78 in, with the total preserved body and tail length being just over 30 centimeters. A complete specimen of Lazarussuchus, with preserved soft tissue, was found from the Late Paleocene of France, but has not been assigned to a species. Discovery. The first remains of Lazarussuchus, belonging to the type species L. inexpectatus, were described in 1992, from a mostly complete articulated skeleton Claude Bernard. The genus was named after the Lazarus effect, as the remains were the youngest known Choristodera fossils and resembled the most primitive Choristodera known, the Middle Late Jurassic Cenozoic. In 2005, another species, L. dvoraki, was described from isolated skull bones and vertebrae from the early Middle Miocene sediments of the Merkur North locality in the northwest Czech Republic. The species was named after Zdeněk Dvorak, who had collected the specimens. In 2008, remains of Lazarussuchus were reported from the Upper Oligocene sediments of Oberlichterspach in northern Bavaria, Germany. Remains included 25 bones and was suggested to probably represent a new species. In 2013, a specimen of Lazarussuchus was described from the Late Paleocene aged Menet Formation near Menet. The specimen, which is an almost complete articulated skeleton BDL 1819, is largely preserved as an impression, with remnants of disintegrating bone and some preserved soft tissue. The remains were not assigned to a species, however, because it could not be robustly diagnosed separately from the two named species. In 2019, in the supplementary information for the paper describing the remains of the extinct ape Danuvius, indeterminate remains of Lazarussuchus were reported from the Hammerschmidt clay pit near Forsen, Bavaria, Germany. The Hammerschmidt locality has been dated magnetostratigraphically to the base of the Tortonian stage of the Late Miocene, approximately 11.62 million years ago. Description. Lazarussuchus was small and superficially lizard-like in appearance. According to Matsumoto and colleagues 2013, Lazarussuchus is distinguished from all other known Choristoderas by the presence of paired nares high on the rostrum, elongated premaxillary bones which replace the maxillae in the anterior part of the rostrum. The slender paired nasal bones are overlapped anteriorly by the premaxillae and wedged between the anterior tips of the prefrontal. L. inexpectatus is distinguished by having the postparietal processes of the parietal bone equal or nearly equal in length to the parietal plate, directed posteriorly with less than 30 degrees of angulation and only weakly concave, resulting in the upper temporal fenestra being elongated and almost rectangular in shape, with an anterior-posterior. L. dvoraki is distinguished by having postparietal processes only 1/3 of the length of the parietal plate, which are angulated greater than 45 degrees laterally, and a concave lateral margin, resulting in the upper temporal fenestrae being smaller and more ovoid in comparison to L. inexpectatus, with an anteromedial to posterior. The Menet specimen is distinguished by having 40 maxillary teeth and a total of 52 teeth in the upper jaw as opposed to 11 premaxillary and 24 maxillary tooth positions in L. inexpectatus. However, it cannot be ruled out that these are due to allometry. The Menet specimen is interpreted to have 10 cervical vertebrae as opposed to the 9 reported for L. inexpectatus. However, the 10th cervical vertebra of the Menet specimen is similar to the ninth of L. inexpectatus, and there is a gap between the eighth and ninth vertebrae of the L. inexpectatus specimen, suggesting a vertebra could be missing or obscured. The ribs tuberculum and capitulum are joined by a crest in L. inexpectatus, but the crest on the ribs of the ninth vertebrae is limited. In the Manette specimen, the crest is present on all cervical ribs, including a particularly strong crest on the rib of the ninth vertebra. However, this contrast may be due to misalignment of vertebral counts, as mentioned previously. The interclavicle of L. inexpectatus was described as T-shaped in its initial description. However, the main part of the bone is not visible, and only a strong lateral process is visible. In contrast, the Manette specimen interclavicle is rhomboid in shape, but the lateral processes are incomplete, making comparison difficult. The type specimen of L. inexpectatus has plantar tubercles present on the proximal portion of the fifth metatarsal, while the Manette specimen does not. However, this difference can only be properly evaluated in three-dimensional specimens. Matsumoto and colleagues 2013 declined to create a new species for the Manette specimen despite it being most certainly specifically distinct, because species diagnosis must be based on clear morphological difference. Explain many or all of the observed differences between the L. inexpectatus type and Manette specimens. The premaxilla of the Oberlichterspatch Lazarussuchus is shorter than that of L. inexpectatus, alongside other unspecified cranial bone differences. Soft tissue. The Manette specimen of Lazarussuchus preserves some remnants of soft tissue, but no scales, which shows that the hindfoot pes was not webbed, and a dark stained region with acrenellated edges present above the caudal vertebrae of the tail, suggestive of a crest similar to those found in some living reptiles, like the tuatara, lizards, and crocodiles. Age and relationships. Lazarussuchus is the youngest member of the group Choristodera and the only Choristoder to have lived after the Eocene. The crocodile-like neochoristoders went extinct at the start of the Eocene, possibly due to climatic changes happening at this time, known as the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum. The first discovered fossils of Lazarussuchus came from the late Oligocene, meaning that it extended the fossil range of Choristodera by several million years. At the time of its discovery, Lazarussuchus was considered an example of the Lazarus effect because its unexpected presence followed a long gap in the Choristoder fossil record. Lazarussuchus was initially interpreted as the basalmost member of Choristodera, meaning that its lineage must have been the earliest to branch off from the group. Since the first definitive Choristoders appear in the Middle Jurassic, the lineage represented by Lazarussuchus implied a very long ghost lineage of Choristoders spanning at least 100 million years. However, in the 2005 description of L. dvoraki, it was placed as the sister group of Neochoristoders. Matsumoto and colleagues 2013 placed Cenozoic, the oldest known Choristoder, as the most basal member of the group, and has Lazarussuchus in a more derived position within a clade of small-bodied Choristoders known from the early Cretaceous of Asia, united by the shared condition of closed lower temporal fenestrae, which has been recovered by most subsequent. The clade was informally named the Choristodera by Dong and colleagues 2020. This position significantly shortens the ghost lineage of Lazarussuchus, although there is still a gap between the disappearance of small-bodied, lizard-like Choristoders at the end of the early Cretaceous and their reappearance in the form of Lazarussuchus in the Paleocene. Possible lizard-like Choristoders have been found in late Cretaceous North American deposits, although their remains are very fragmentary. Phylogeny from the analysis of Dong and colleagues 2020. Environment. At Oberlichterspatch and Merkur North, Lazarussuchus was found in continental lake deposits with a subtropical climate, occurring alongside fish, frogs, turtles, squamates, and alligatoroid crocodilians belonging to the genus Diplocynodon.